friends, and welcome to day 9 of December Daily. I am having way too much fun sharing with you guys every day, and you guys seem to be having a ton of fun too. So thank you so much for showing up for me every day and coming back. So here's what I have for day 9. I was like running through the day and living my life and blah blah blah, and like right around 9 o'clock I realized I had no story. And I'm sure this has happened to some of you where you're like, you're like me, where you're looking for joy and you're looking for stories and you're looking for Christmas things to happen. And sometimes it's an everyday and nothing happens. And you're like, well, what am I going to document today? So my friend Jessica, her name's Jessica Upton. She's on Instagram. If you don't follow her, she's wonderful. She's doing a December Currently album instead of a December Daily album, and I loved the idea. And she's documenting like ing words like making and eating and decorating. And right as I was thinking about that on the way home, Spotify notified me that they had these graphics made where they were like year summaries of what you've been listening to and your favorite artists, and then they compared it to previous years. And then so I downloaded my summary. It was this unsightly, like I don't even know what they were thinking with this color combination, but it was like pink and lime green. And then I downloaded this one, which was like a pie chart of 2015 to 2019, which is how long I've had my Spotify account. And I was like, perfect. That's the story I'm going to tell today. I'm going to talk about music, because music is definitely one of my favorite things. I listen to music when I'm studying. I listen to music when I'm working out. I listen to music when I'm chilling. Like my TV's almost never on and all I do is listen to music. So I thought it was a perfect story for today. This photo is not a photo that I took today. I took it when I was documenting Day in the Life a few weeks ago, but it works perfectly for the story because I'm working and I have my headphones on. So it's perfect for the story. And I let the shapes in that graphic dictate the shape of my pages. So I have no idea if this is going to work. This is definitely something that I'm going to make up on the fly as I go. But like I said, I recolored this graphic because I like I'm okay with having teal and gray in my album, but that pink and lime green was frightening. And I didn't want to go with traditional Christmas colors for the spread since I had like the pinks yesterday. So here's what I did. I recolored this to green. I have this, and then I was digging through my stash and I found this fun semicircle paper that is almost this exact same shade of green. And because it was a graphic from Spotify, I couldn't resize it to fit a full sheet of paper. So I'm actually just gonna stitch a little bit of this on. So it's the same, so it's the size of a page protector. This is, I'm sure this is wider than it needs to be, but I wanted to make sure I had enough space. So I'm going to stitch this on just like this. And then I have this is an Allie. If you can't tell by her handwriting, this is from Allie. So I'm gonna lay this over top just like that. Just like that. And then I'm probably gonna use some star brads for the dots on my 9. And I don't know, we're gonna make this up as we go today. I have a few ideas. There were a few things I came up with in advance before I like turned on the camera and got working. I know that I wanna heat emboss the years. So this is from LA Studio. This is their dated stamp set. So I have this out on my desk. I have some white embossing powder from Michaels. It's like, I'm sure there are better brands of embossing powder, but I don't emboss well. So I don't want to invest a bunch of money in embossing powder. So this is a few bucks from Michaels. I have my Versamark. I have my Star Brads. I have some of these Avery clear tabs because look, there's already embossing powder everywhere. I have these Avery clear tabs because I want to put something on the semicircle so you open them. The thought process is, here's my journaling, which is a little bit shorter today because it's a story about music and not every story needs to be an essay. And that is more a reminder for me than it is for you that not every story needs to be an essay. So it's going to be like this. It's going to open up. Here are the two. Here's going to be the full circle. And then I'm probably just going to back this with pattern paper. So for day 10, I don't have to take it out of the album and fuss with it. This is a little bit larger because I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to trim the journaling. So after I attach it, I'm going to go back in and trim this excess off. So I have a lot of things going on. I think I'm going to disappear for a little bit and sew this on. The sewing machine I use, sorry, the other thing I have is when I did my journaling, I forgot to leave space. So I just took some graphic sheets and made some strips to anchor. So I'm going to this is how it's going to be in the album. It's going to be attached to this. So it's clear, so you can't really see it, but it's how it's going to be attached to the album. I was saying something. Sewing machine. Yeah, so the sewing machine I use is one I got secondhand off of Craigslist. I only use it for paper. I don't know how to sew. Sewing is not my thing. And every time I sew something, I inevitably make a mistake. So what I did was I printed, I don't even know where my thing is anymore. Oh, I printed 2 copies of this, and I printed 2 copies of my green circle because I will inevitably make a mistake today, and I wanted to make sure I had backups. But I printed everything except my photo on matte photo paper. So again, I'm going to disappear for a little bit. I'm going to sew. I'm not going to sew on camera because you guys are going to laugh at how long it's going to take me. But I will be back after I'm done sewing that strip of paper onto my page. Okay, so I'm back. So I did my sewing. As expected, I managed to make flub right at the beginning, which happens every time I sew. I always manage to ruin something. I'm just trimming off this little bit of green paper because I didn't line it up perfectly. So you can kind of see it at the beginning where my thread broke right as I started stitching, and I fixed it, fixed the tension, and I have that fun zigzag line, and that did exactly what I wanted to, because now the greens here have that fun. Did I cut that straight? I think that's straight. I have that fun semicircle, semicircle, semicircle. Okay, so let's keep going. So I have this singing piece, and it's gonna go right on top. And I said that I was gonna use some star brads. I think I said this in one of my other videos. I never use brads, and now there's like star brads everywhere. I think it's because these are glittery, and December daily is very much sparkle and shine season. So I think I'm gonna put some star brads, and then I'm gonna spell out the word 9 if these, I don't know if these will fit. I might be able to make this fit. Let me see. Let's grab this out. Okay, so I'm sorry I had to vanish to do that, but I had a little bit of trouble with getting the letter stickers positioned the way I wanted it to. And because this layout doesn't really have a plan, like it's very much rough and tumble. So I am 100% making this, see, this doesn't even work. I am 100% making this up as I go. Now this is probably the most inelegant way to ever attach. It's not even gonna go through. My hole punch won't fit, so I'm just trying to use my pencil to poke a hole, which is, again, the most inelegant way to attach a brad ever, but it worked. And back here you can see I just used some washi tape to tape my threads down so I don't have to worry about them moving. Ah, that just killed my pencil. Okay, come on. It worked on me. Perfect. Okay, good. So I punched my holes. I am attaching my brads. And this one's a little bit lower than the other one, but I don't mind that so much. Okay, so star brads are attached. Oh my God, and thank you so much yesterday for the sweet comments on my tree story. I am so happy now that my tree was up. December doesn't feel like December in my neck of the woods unless my Christmas tree and my twinkling lights are up. And I had the most fun making that spread. It is probably my favorite thing in my album right now. I'm sure something else will come along and replace it, but right now it is literally my favorite. I'm obsessed. Okay. So here's how this side of this page is gonna look. And then let's keep going. So this is gonna go on the back side of day 8. I gotta tuck this in. This is just gonna go on the back side of day 8, and then I have this on this side. So I have the gold and the white. I gotta find out some way to include the gold and the white on this side, but I'm gonna emboss my years. So this is either gonna go really, really well, or it's going to be a complete and unmitigated disaster, which is why I printed two of these just in case I ruin it, because again, I'm not one of those fancy card makers. I'm not an excellent stamper. I dabble and I enjoy dabbling, but it's definitely not my forte. So my plan is to just like stamp the 2019, 18 like that, and then emboss it. So I'm going to probably speed through this. My embossing ink is filthy. Like, who am I? I'm probably going to speed through this embossing. So you stamp with a sticky ink, you put your embossing powder. If you don't ruin it, you heat set it, and then the the embossing powder dries smooth and melted and raised. And since I don't have white ink, I thought it'd be fun to use white embossing powder. I might regret it, but we're gonna go for it. So again, I'm probably gonna speed through this because I'm not the one who should be teaching people how to emboss. I'm not very good at it. So I'm going to be lazy about this and try to quickly stamp all the years so I only have to emboss it and heat set it once. I might regret that, but I'm gonna go for it. We're winging it today. We're 100% making this up as we go. We're back. So I learned a few things. My Versamark wasn't as saturated as it used to be, so my stamping skipped a little bit, and since my stamping skipped a little bit, my embossing skipped a little bit, so I didn't get like the cleanest impression, and I was really close to throwing it out and starting over. And then I looked at it and I actually like it without having that clean impression because it looks kind of grungy. Which is very much my aesthetic. Like, I like having things be less than perfect. So I stamped it, I embossed it with my white embossing powder. I made a giant mess and got embossing powder all over my desk. So I had to go like clean that up so I could have my desk back. I'm probably gonna be finding white embossing powder everywhere for like another month because like one year I used gold embossing powder, which is sparkly, and I don't even want to tell you how long the gold embossing powder was all over everything I touched. It was all over my hands, it was all over the desk. I started finding it in the cat's fur. It was just, on the bright side, my cats are white, so if the embossing powder gets all over them, then it's not the end of the world. Okay, so I found a sewing needle in my stash, which is a probably much more elegant solution than the pencil that I was using. So I used that to poke holes, and I added my star brads, and that ties the gold on this page to the gold on this page. And I really like I'm actually really starting to like the way this is coming out. Halfway through this, I was like, I hate this, I'm throwing this in the garbage. I have no idea what I'm gonna do today, but I'm working through it and it's actually going really well. Like, I'm really excited for this. So I'm gonna keep going. We're in a good place. Things are working, things are moving. So now I'm going to back my journaling to this, and like I said, I gotta trim my journaling down. So first I'm gonna attach it to this, and then I'm gonna trim it down. So let's go ahead and do this. So are you guys like huge music fans like I am? Like, do you guys like listening to music? Do you stream? What's your streaming service of choice? I like Spotify over Pandora. I'm just gonna make sure this is both right side up so I don't ruin it. I like Spotify over Pandora because Spotify lets you listen to whole albums, and Spotify is not very like they're not like the radio station type thing. I don't like when Pandora recommends what they think I should be listening to. Like, I want to listen to what I want to listen to. Okay, this is all right. I gotta get this down, and I cannot multitask right now. I'm trying to get this. Why am I struggling so much right now? Okay, I'm gonna come back when this is attached to itself because semicircles are clearly not a shape that I should be working with. Okay, so here's how it looks so far. This is actually okay. This is okay. So here it is on this side, and here it is when I flip it. And again, you can see where I clipped off my journaling a tiny bit, but because I've already attached everything, like ripping, the tape I use is super sticky. And if I tried to rip everything apart, I would probably make a huge mess. And I don't know if it's worth it to fix that G and that O and the P, because it's only like 3 letters that I've ruined. So I'm gonna add a little bit more green here. This is just a chipboard that says Holly and Jolly. I like the sentiment and I like the color. So I'm gonna put that down. So yeah, some days it's like that. Some days you are on the struggle bus and you just cannot get off. Actually, I think I'm gonna put this over here since I have that 9. I am firmly accepting my role as a passenger today. You can't win every day. I won really, yesterday was a win. And I honestly think that when this is finished, I'm gonna really love it. But right now, friends, I am struggling. Okay, so here's how that looks. And I actually really like that. I like it a lot. All right, I'm gonna just neaten up this edge, which I'm probably gonna regret because I'm probably gonna end up cutting off more words, but I cannot stop myself. Yeah, okay. So I chose to, like I said, I chose to let the shape of the graphic dictate the shape of my page. I don't know if I'll ever do that again. So here's what I had. I had this 9. And this 9 is from the main kit this year. No, this 9 was an add-on. And then I had these Tim Holtz charms, and this one just said story. And I attached it with a star brad because I thought it'd be fun to repeat a circle on a semicircle. I have the gold and the stars. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything else to that side, so I'm gonna leave it. And then for this side, I have just this giant photo of me, and I think I might just use a pleather circle here. And that's all I'm going to do for embellishing on this side is just put that pleather circle down. So I'm going to attach my little acetate strip so I can actually turn the page. And I think I'm just going to leave it alone because I'm trying to do way too much today. Way too much. And some days it works, but today I think it's these circles, you guys. Like, I really want these circles to work. And I'm just having it, okay. Oh, that actually looks really good. Okay, never mind, that's working. So here, there's not enough glue here. I'm just gonna go in and put a little bit more tape so that this doesn't come apart. All right, so that's that. So Spotify is really cool because it like keeps track of all the stuff that you've been listening to over the years. And as I was looking at what they told me that I was listening to, the top artist I listened to this year was Taylor Swift, which is really interesting because I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. I would have thought that it would be like Ed Sheeran or something. Ed Sheeran was actually number 2 on my list, but I would have thought that it would have been like Ed Sheeran or something. So I was very surprised that the top artist I listened to this year was Taylor Swift. And then as I was thinking about it, it made sense because Lover came out this year, and I'm gonna go get my needle. Lover came out this year, and I really enjoyed Lover. And then the genres were actually pretty funny too, because this is how you can tell what I do most of my time. Lo-fi beats is really high, and lo-fi beats is what I listen to when I'm studying. Spotify has a really cool, it's called, is it called Lo-Fi Study? I think it's called Lo-Fi Study, which is what I'm listening to when I'm studying. And then I also was training really hard for a powerlifting competition, and I listen to rap and pop when I'm in the gym, which is not something I would listen to any other time of the day. But I do when I do like you know, upbeat music while I'm working out. And so like these graphics are like little microcosms of your life, and they fascinate me because honestly, like what we listen to is a huge reflection of who we are and what we're interested in. Unless you're like a TV oh my God, this bride is not going to cooperate. Unless you're a TV watcher, then what you watch is a huge reflection of what you're into and what you're interested in. But I'm not a TV watcher. So what I listen to is a huge reflection. So I put that pleather circle and that another star, and I think I'm just going to put this 9 up here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to put that 9 up there and leave it alone. So I'm going to stick that down. Okay, so after my few hiccups, this is actually coming together the way I thought it would in my head. So that worked out. Of course, I put way too much glue on this. So that's what I get for getting confident. There's just so much glue everywhere. Okay, let's just put that down. So much glue everywhere. Okay. So no, I'm lying. There's one more thing I want to do. I want to add some Avery tabs. That way, because like I feel like I put way too much glue here. That'll dry. I think the Avery tabs will make it easier to turn the these like semicircles. Crystal, who I follow on Instagram and I adore, she did this like hexagon page where it was like a folded hexagon in half, and when you opened it, it was like a full hexagon, and she had used these Avery tabs to help turn the page and also to like remind you that there's something in the middle. So I'm going to do something similar. I've had these Avery tabs in my stash forever. These are like my favorite embellishments to use during December Daily, and I haven't used one yet this year. And then this stamp is from Kerry Bradford. I don't know if it's still in store, if you can still buy it. So it's called Bundle Up, and I like it because it has really thin sentiments. So I think I'm going to use all the Holly Jolly things, because most of these are really Christmassy and this isn't, or maybe All is Calm, All is Bright. I think I'm going to use all the Holly Jolly things. Okay, so I've stamped my Avery tabs. Again, not the greatest stamper because I had ink all over my fingers, and I've smudged it, and I've smudged some of the small print, but I don't mind tiny imperfections like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach this in a way that's make sure that it's not covering my journaling, because that's the most important part. The sticky part is clear, but I just want to make sure that it's not covering the story at all. So just gonna get that on, and because it's a circle, it's not gonna, there's no straight edges, so it's not gonna attach perfectly, but as long as it's on where I can turn it, so that's what that's gonna do, so you can turn it better. And then I'm just gonna put another one at the bottom of the second circle. So let's just make sure that's straight. All right, let's see. Okay. Oh, and I also backed this, the photo side. So for when it's time to work on day 10, I don't have to pull it out of the album and back it. So that's how this, I'm actually really happy with how this came out. I was really worried that when I started in the embossing, I was really worried that it was not going to work well, but I'm actually really happy with how this came out. So it's a simple story. It's about what I've been listening to. It's about music, but it's really fun. I love having this graphic because it's something that's unique to just me. Like everyone else's is going to look different. So I like having these little touches of everyday life, and it's an everyday story that anyone can tell about what we've been listening to. So my journaling is really short. It just says, oh my God, this managed to move somehow. Before I read this, I got to fix this. Okay. You guys, when I told you I was on the struggle bus today, I am not joking. Hardcore on the struggle bus. All right. Stay there, please. Okay, so it says, Dear Spotify, you are my ride or die. You and I have been bumping and vibing since 2015, and I know I can always count on you to remember my preferences, to suggest something new and different or something comfortable and soft, to work whether I was deep underground or at the top of a bridge, and to be all mine. Thank you for being there at my high points, when I was celebrating A's and feeling good as hell, when I was stacking weight on my shoulders I never thought possible, when I was sauntering down the street with an extra pep in my step, and when I was resting at the end of a long day satisfied and complacent. Thank you for being there when no one else was, when I was at my lowest and ready to quit and just turn off the lights and go to bed, when I couldn't climb a single step on the Stairmaster, when my focus was non-existent, when I needed a boost to get out of bed in the morning, and when it was all I could do to listen to one more song and answer one more question. I will never be able to thank you for always showing up for me, for evolving as my tastes and preferences have changed, for getting me up at the bottom of a squat, for clearing my head and healing my heart, for creating a fire in me when I needed it the most, and for always keeping me company. Thank you for being the soundtrack to my life when I was heartsick and broken, for adding color back to my heart when the world is black and white, for always reminding me that true love exists, for inspiring me to write words of my own, and for always dancing alongside me. So again, a really easy story. I again like having the mixes of Christmas stories and non-holiday stories. And because December's at the end of the year, all these fun things start popping up, like, you know, your summary for the year. Oh, that is moving. Okay, so here's another thing that I did. I finally found my pom-pom trim, which I think the cats have attacked in the middle of the night because it's shifted. I gotta hide my album from the cats because I left it open on my desk and I think they thought the pom-pom was a toy and they ran off with it. So I gotta fix that later. But I added the pom-pom trim here to cover up this empty space. And then here's how day 8 looks. There is a process video for this page if you haven't seen it. This is gonna be for day 10. So I wanted something that was neutral to match that, which is why I went with the pink. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in and see how this looks. Just put all these bits and pieces in. And then I will attach this and be right back because I have to punch holes and fix this. So I'll attach this to this page and be right back. And then you can see how it looks in the book. Okay, so here's how it looks in the album. I have my 9, I have my big title, I have my graphic, I have my semicircle, and then I have my 2 semicircles, which are finally adhered to the acetate. I have my pleather circle, my 9, my charm, my journaling, and then this is ready for day 10. And I'm really happy with how this came out. This just goes to show that sometimes you have these ideas and they make perfect sense in your head and then they don't work on paper and you just gotta like tweak things and go with it. I workshopped this on regular copy paper before I started working on it to make sure it would work, and I had to like tweak it as I went. And it actually worked out really well. So I hope this has inspired you to try something new, to try new shapes, to add little bits of your personality into your album. Not every day needs to have a photo. Not every day needs to have a new photo. Like this I took, again, weeks ago. It just fit the story really well. And I think this is a perfect addition to this December Daily album. It's a little bit kitschy, it's a little weird, but it's me and it's perfect for this day. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying on the struggle bus with me because this was an adventure to get here. So thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for always showing up for me. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying the content I've been sharing this year. And I will see you at day 10 because there's sequins and there's sparkle and shine. And I'm really excited to document the 10 things I've been loving this season. So till tomorrow, keep it crafty, friends. Have the best day. And I will see you at day 10.